Just gonna, you can be on your phone and stuff. For the first part, I'm gonna be talking about the brand and stuff like that, and then we'll get into application. Sweet. I just wanted to get in early so that people can get on.
Right now?
It's recording, so they'll get this recording. I just shrunk quite a bit. I always have this like intrinsic fear that they're just gonna forget about and I'm just hanging out. It has happened to me once though.
Oh god. I'm gonna just keep checking Zillow.
Oh, that's cool. Look for places on this street.
I have this place. I was looking at apartment lists and I haven't checked Zillow. But...
No, stop looking at Zillow. Go to.
No, I just get curious.
No. Like, if you're curious, look at property management companies. Like Google St. Louis property management companies, plural, and then just go through the line and start clicking and seeing what they have, because they haven't been posting their shit on Zillow because it goes too fast.
Oh yeah.
I love my lip gloss. This is going to be a funny pre-show for them one day. They're going to be like, these people are wild. That's who I saw one from them. We almost got one from Decca. They have some good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had one in Bevo Mills that we really liked.
I found a place in Bevo Mill a while back. I loved it so much.
We really, really liked it, but there wasn't enough closet space for both of us. For one person, yeah. For two, no.
Yeah.
So we start popping in soon.
In a lot of places I've been finding like it's like not aggressive breeds of like fuck, I shot my dog.
You can just say she's a mutt.
She does not look like one.
Shut up. A lot of times they don't have to, it's not like. Hi guys, welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. Do you guys know? Okay, cool. People are more people are popping in. Good. We're gonna wait until probably like 10:01, 10:02 to start, just to give people time to get on. I'm gonna close the door so my dog doesn't bother us. Ma'am, you stay. Thank you. All right, guys, so it's 10:02. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Welcome to our Bodyography bridal class. My name is Sammy, and I've been with Bodyography for probably about 6 or 7 years. I think I'm going on 7 now. The company started in the early 90s and has evolved quite a bit since then. We started in the 90s with just a line of lipsticks, and we've evolved into the beautiful brand that we have today. In 2016, we actually did a complete brand renovation when it comes to our packaging. All of our packaging is eco-friendly, recyclable, and minimal plastic so that we can do everything in our part in order to make sure that we keep the earth happy. All of our ingredients also come from eco-friendly sources, so we make sure that we source things properly to help the earth as well. Our brand is full of vegan, gluten-free, paraben-free, sulfate-free options. Everything is good for the skin. It's kind of like a skincare makeup, which is awesome for people who maybe aren't used to using skincare or makeup, because you kind of get the best of both worlds. In addition to that, we have a slew of options. So we have something for every single person out there. I use exclusively Bodyography behind the chair. I also use exclusively Bodyography on myself. And there's never been a person where I have been, I don't know what to do with this person's skin or face or skin tone. As a company, something that I personally love about Bodyography is if you ever feel like you are missing something very key in your makeup kit from us, we are all ears. We are ever evolving. We are here to help you, the professional, as well as the makeup fanatic, feel more comfortable with makeup and make sure that you have everything you need in your kit to feel confident in your applications. So if you feel like you are missing something or we don't have what you need, please reach out to me or Lori, send us a message on Instagram or Facebook. Let us know of a suggestion of a product that you would like to see. That's really how we grow our brand. We take what you guys have to say very, very to heart and very important. So give us some suggestions and let us know. Today, I have a model here with me. This is Molly. She is not getting married, but looking forward to it one day. She has a beautiful face, nice fair skin. So we're gonna play that up a little bit. Our focus today is bridal babe, and what's trending right now is skin. We want to focus on beautiful skin, feeling comfortable, glow, and honestly making wedding applications more simple for you. Something as an artist that we tend to do quite often is overcomplicate applications. There are 22 million palettes of makeup eyeshadows in the world. And oftentimes when going to apply makeup on a guest, you really only need a few colors, or you really don't need all of that product. So I'm here to help you simplify and organize things a little bit easier. You don't need 22 eyeshadows in order to create a beautiful makeup look. Sometimes less is more. Now, what I will also say, the key behind professional makeup is layering and making sure that you're properly building on the skin and giving it an opportunity to really shine and do your best work. So let's get started. I'm gonna scoot this in a little closer so you can kind of see what I'm doing with Molly. You won't see me very much, but you'll see her face pretty well. Scoot, 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 scoot. Make sure that's not on your tootsies. Okay. All right, so her skin has been prepped with coconut milk serum. Coconut milk serum is our top selling skincare item. It's high in antioxidants. It's a super lightweight skincare product. It soaks into the epidermis really, really quickly, so you don't feel tacky as you wear it. It's great for male clients as well. So maybe the groom needs a little facelift before he goes out for his wedding day. He can use some coconut milk serum too. Don't be afraid to approach your men with skincare. God knows they need it also. So I'm going to start with our hydrating primer. I'm not sure if many of you guys know the actual main function of a primer. So cool thing about this primer in particular, and all of our primers, is they contain a high dose of vitamins, and they also contain Dermaxil. Dermaxil is derived from a plant and helps plump fine lines and wrinkles 5 to 10% while you're wearing it. So it's going to give you a really nice, smooth application. Now, the main function of a primer, when I ask people, what is the main function of a primer? Oftentimes they tell me it makes your makeup last longer. While that is true, that is not the main function of a primer. The main function of a primer is to create a barrier between your skincare regimen and your makeup regimen, allowing your skincare and your makeup to both perform at optimal levels of ingredients. This way it keeps the chemistry of everything, the pH, nice and balanced, and you don't have any sliding of your makeup. That's why it lasts longer. Now, as you can see, I'm bringing it down the neck, hitting the décolleté a little bit, making sure I hit the ears as well. Something that's often forgotten in bridal makeup in particular is the ears, but we see ears in a lot of photos, and we want to make sure that those look cohesive as well. Next, I'm going to start with our concealers. Now, you can do foundation first, or you can do concealer. It really does not matter. That's a personal preference thing for you. However, when it comes to me, a lot of times I like to do a base of concealers, and then I might go back through and spot check later after I apply foundation and we get it going. Today I have our new Skin Slip concealers in L1 and L2. Because she's rather fair, I know I won't need very dark complexions for her. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab these two. Now this is also a really important tool. These two are gonna keep you nice and sanitary. So the number one difference between amateur and professional makeup is going to be sanitation. Yes, we have a lot of training on application and ingredients, but when it really comes down to it, it's all about sanitation. We are the separation between someone getting an eye infection because we used mascara on a bunch of other people and put it on them. People who don't go to beauty school or don't have professional training don't know that. They don't think about it. They don't sanitize their products. So it's really important for us to keep it clean. This is going to keep us nice and organized. It's a place for us to mix colors. It's also a place for us to actually put what we're applying and get our brush in there. One thing I think is really important to never do as a professional makeup artist is to not use the back of your hand to apply. The back of your hand contains your skin cells. There's no primer to create a barrier between your skincare, your skin, and the makeup. So if you put some foundation or concealer here and then apply it on your guest's face, you're mixing your skin and your biomes with theirs, and it can compromise your application. Keep it nice and sanitary and use these stainless steel tools. These stainless steel tools are also incredibly easy to wash. I mean, you can pop them in a dishwasher, you can spray them down with alcohol, anything you really need to do in order to keep them sanitary. A little bit goes a long way with these concealers, and they mix beautifully. They're incredibly lightweight and comfortable, so they're wonderful for bridal makeup. Oftentimes, in fact, today I used only the concealers on my face. So as you can see here, we got some of our concealers. I'm gonna go in with a little concealer brush and hit her under eyes, open and look up for me. Now, this is the lighter shade. This is L1. So I'm focusing on the high points of her face that I want to accentuate. I'm also hitting the under eyes because I want to make sure that we don't have any sort of dark under eye circles. She really doesn't. I don't really have to worry about that, but you never know what the day can bring when it comes to the wedding. Also, I always urge you to do a trial. Wedding trials are really important. It gives you an opportunity to get used to the face that you're going to be working on. It also gets them used to wearing makeup. During the wedding trial, I always explain to them, listen, I am going to create some magic today. This is going to be a lot of fun. I love your pictures of inspiration. You are going to look beautiful. You are also going to feel like you're wearing a lot more makeup than you usually do. I always make sure to tell them that because they are. Remember, we're going to be showing these, like they're prepping for a camera. They're essentially prepping for a photo shoot. So we want to make sure that that camera won't see through all of our layers and show any imperfections. So yeah, she's going to feel like she has a little bit of extra makeup on her face. In addition to that, I always express that no matter what you feel, even if you are absolutely in love with what I do today, I can promise you with 100% certainty that it will be even better the day of the wedding. There is just something magical about wedding days where things just kind of come together. It's the ultimate balance of chaos and magic. It's pretty cool. So now I'm using my buffing brush. This is, no lie, my most favorite brush in our collection. It feels like a nice little massage on the face. So I'm using the buffing brush to blend out our concealer and just give us a nice good base before we apply any foundation. Nice dense brushes are going to give you control, allow you to move the product a bit easier without having to work as hard, without having to use as much pressure. Now, oftentimes you'll get brides that have done spray tan right before their wedding, or have done maybe tanning beds right before their wedding, which is totally cool. That's pretty normal. So be prepared for that. But what I will also tell you is make sure you're dragging that down the neck and chest and décolleté so you can have a really soft blend no matter what their tan is. And you can always add a little bronzer as well if you need to. Ollie and I have worked together for years, but I don't actually think I've ever done her makeup.
One time.
One time.
Out of the many years.
Out of the many, many years. Always step back, take a look at your coverage. This is looking good. We're building. Looks really nice. See how soft of a glow that is? Like, it's not a very matte concealer, but it is going to add a nice natural finish. That's what I like to think of. It's a natural finish, not so much a matte. So as you can see, I'm almost out of this one, but this is foundation number 100 in the liquid formula. Now, I love all of our foundations, and we have quite a span of different selections when it comes to your coverage. We have full coverage, medium coverage, buildable coverage, light coverage, and everything in between. Personally, I like to use the liquid foundations the most for weddings. It has a photo absorb technology. So what it does is the molecules kind of diffuse the light around the face, allowing the camera to really capture a glow without any sort of flashback. Now I'm using the buffing brush again, but as you can see, I'm just kind of speckling this on her face and on her neck right now. Don't forget those ears, guys. Don't forget the ears. The ears are really important. Sometimes all you see in a picture is the side of someone's face. So just make sure that you're focusing on that area as well. We'll also hit it with a little bit of highlighter too later. And now we're just kind of blending, a nice soft blend. The liquid foundation is a buildable foundation. So you can get a full coverage with it. You can also get a medium coverage. It's not so much a light coverage though. It's more of a medium to full. Has licorice root extract, which was apparently a mouthful for me. Licorice root extract and a whole bunch of vitamins to make your skin feel really happy. No matter what you're using with Bodyography, you will never feel like you have cake face. Never, ever, ever. Even with our fullest foundation, you will not feel that way. Everything is designed to be really light and airy. We have a little base going on now. So next I'm going to use our eye canvas mousse. This can be a concealer, but I will be honest with you, it's a little difficult to use as a concealer. I will tell you, this is probably one of the most underrated products in our entire line, without a doubt. First, it has a high dose of Dermaxil, which, what was that again? Dermaxil is going to plump fine lines and wrinkles 5 to 10% while you wear it. So with that being said, this being an eyeshadow primer is kind of incredible, right? Because that means that we won't have any creasing on the eyelid. Now, I will say, because it's a mousse, if you leave the cap off, it can kind of dry it out a little bit. It doesn't normally kill it per se, but it can dry it out a little bit and make it a little bit more difficult to work with. So be sure to keep that nice and tight. And if you do find that it has become dry, be sure to put a little bit of your setting spray into it, because that will kind of reactivate the ingredients. I do urge you to not use water. I will tell you personally, never use water to wet your brushes, reactivate your powders, or anything. There is a big reason why. First off, in every single area, water is different. No matter where you're at, your water is different than my water, and their water is different than your water. And it's because of maybe there's water softeners, maybe it's well water, maybe there are just different minerals infused into the water, fluoride, all of those sort of things. Now, when I'm trying to work with a product, I want it to be predictable. I don't want to have a bunch of minerals floating around that I don't know are in there. So use setting spray always, never water. Reason why this is one of the most underrated products is because it's not only an eyeshadow primer. So you can use this as almost like an instant eye lift in a container, because it's got the Dermaxil in it and it's got like an apricot undertone, if you can see that real well. It's got a bit of an apricot undertone, so it's gonna cancel out a little bit of darkness that might exist on the eye area, but the Dermaxil is really gonna lift it up nicely. Now I am using a concealer brush to apply. I try not to use my hands very often when it comes to applying product. Again, that's just gonna mix your skin cells in with the application, and we just wanna keep it nice and consistent. This is someone's wedding after all, and these wedding photos tend to last forever. I mean, for generations. Look up. So I hit the top of the eyelid. I'm also gonna run a little bit on the bottom of the eyelid. Another thing that you can use this for, which I tend to use it for a lot, is if you have a mother of a bride, or honestly a bride, literally anyone that struggles with keeping lipstick on their face. Let's say they have a little bit of wisdom lines, right? Wisdom lines, AKA wrinkles. But wisdom lines, let's say they have some wisdom lines around their lips, and it's a little difficult for them to prevent lipstick from bleeding, right? Something that works really well is applying the eye canvas mousse directly onto the lips. A light, thin layer will help lock your lipstick in and kind of plump them a little bit as well. So don't be afraid to put this on your lips. I'll be honest, literally every single thing in Bodyography is versatile. You can use your brow pencils as eyeliner. You can use lipsticks as blush. So don't be afraid to get a little out there with your application as far as what the products are used for. Get creative. Everything is safe to be used on the eyes, lips, around the nose, literally everywhere. Open and look up. Also, keep in communication with your client. Tell them what to do, tell them what to expect. That way the application just goes a lot easier for you and they're not wincing the whole time. Another key thing that I always do with my guests that are getting married, I never give them a mirror. Never, not until the very end. Because there are a couple stages of crazy while you're doing makeup. There really are. And the last thing I want is to be putting eyeshadow primer on someone and then being like, oh, that's too much. No, you don't know what this is. This isn't your eye look. This isn't even, so I don't hand them a hand mirror until we are finished. Make it a big reveal. It just creates a lot less work for you. And sometimes there are brides that are really tweaky, like as far as they want to tweak everything you're doing while they do it, because they do their makeup a lot and they're very passionate about makeup as well, which is really cool. But we want to stay in control of this. We want to stay in control of the application because we are the professionals and we are here to service them. So no hand mirrors during the trial. All right, so we got our eye canvas mousse on. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit and we're going to get into brows. So this is kind of how I always apply. I will always do face prep and then brows. Brows really shape the face. So that's going to give me an idea of eye shape, cheekbones, everything like that. Brows are going to help you kind of focus in a little bit. So I'm going to use the Essential Brow Trio. It comes in 3 colors, a taupe, a dark brown, and a light brown. I'm partial to powders when it comes to brows. These powders are designed to stick in the eyebrow hairs and really latch on. However, you can use them as eyeshadows. So I have a lot of guests that only use one of the 3 colors. What do I do with the rest of them? So I always teach them how to do a quick smoky eye or just a quick neutral look with the other shades in the Essential Brow Trio so that they can feel like they get a little bit more for their money if they take it home. Using our eyeshadow brush as well, which is a really great eyeshadow brush. Now I'm using the middle shade and she has really great eyebrows. We're just kind of emphasizing them. I'm not restructuring them or anything like that. In fact, typically I don't give brides a really big brow arch or reconstructive thing unless they specifically tell me my brows are really bad or something like that, because that's them telling me they want me to clean up their eyebrows. Also, be sure to just talk to your guests if they have any allergies beforehand. Consultation is key, guys. What type of skin are you? Dry, oily, or combination? What type of coverage are you looking for? Minimal, full, or matte, or minimal, full, or medium? Are you looking for matte or bronzy? Are you looking for highlight? Ask for pictures of inspiration. Do what you can to set yourself up for success. And now you can see the side by side of the brows. This one definitely looks a lot more structured than this. Some people will be very self-conscious of you filling in their brows. It's okay. That's why you preface at the very beginning of your makeup trial that you are going to feel like you have a little bit of extra makeup on. Also, after you do your application, I urge you to tell them to take their phone and go out in a bunch of different lights. Take pictures of yourself today. Take pictures, take selfies, have someone else take your picture with their camera, and really see how it affects your skin. And you'll feel a lot more comfortable with the makeup and know that you're not like overloaded on a look. And if they come back to you and tell you that they want it a little bit more like light-handed, well, then you go from there. But having them take pictures of themselves normally gives them a much better idea of what to expect. We always comb up. And the brows are looking really good. Now we're going to start to get in the nitty-gritty of the eye look. So I'm honestly really excited to do this with you guys because I'm trying to make this the simplest but most impactful eye look that you can get. We overcomplicate things as artists. I cannot stress that enough. We do not need to use 15 different colors to create a beautiful eye look. I am going to use 3. and none of them are traditional powders. I find that traditional powders are really, really great and I absolutely love them. However, when I have literally 12 bridesmaids that I'm trying to get done and only one assistant, there is a lot to be done and I need to work quick. Time is money. Time is always money, and you can never get that time back. When it comes to a wedding, you need to be on time. So coming up with different products that help you stay on time is really important. I have with me today the Shadow Stylist Crayon in a Glow. I love this product. Open it up. You can see it's a nice kind of champagne color there. And something that's really cool is there's a little pencil sharpener too. So you can keep it nice and sharpened, nice and sanitized, really easy. Now these are waterproof and smudge proof, but they do take a little bit of time to set. So I have a sanitation light over there, and I'm going to take all of my products at the very end, not only spray them with sanitizer, but also put them in my sanitation light. Everything from your powders, your crayons, your mascaras, your eyeliners can go into the UV sanitation lights. So we're going to start with a glow. I'm going to draw it directly on our eyelid, close. And this is going to be my base. Now she came up to me earlier and she's like, my eyes are kind of difficult to work with. Honestly, everybody is going to tell you that. It's going to be okay. Our job is to make them feel comfortable in their own skin. So when she tells me that, that tells me that she maybe might not be comfortable with a lot of eye makeup on, right? Or maybe she feels like she does have hooded eyes. So a lot of it will be covered. So we keep these things in mind as we apply. Now we have that eyeshadow primer that's created a really nice base for us. A very soft look. Personally, my favorite approach to wedding makeup is soft glam. There aren't many times that you will have a cut crease. Pardon me. Pardon me. Thanks, Omi. Okay. So after every time I use something, I set it over here so that I don't put it back in the mix of my kit. In fact, they're on two totally separate ends of the room so that I make sure that everything stays nice and sanitized. I'm going over the eye crayon, Shadow Stylist crayon with a dry makeup brush, just to pack it in a little bit more and make sure that my coverage is nice and even. Now, because the crayon itself is waterproof and smudge proof, this has created a really good waterproof and smudge proof base for our makeup application. Paired with the Dermaxil and the eyeshadow primer, we have like a bulletproof base for our eyeshadow. Now I am going to use one of our liquid eyeshadows. This is Citrine in our Crystal Glide eyeshadow. Citrine is honestly my favorite. Get it out of here real quick. We're just gonna build a more prominent look on the eyes. I'm going right on top of our crayon. We are building. So remember how I said earlier, layering is key? Layering is key. Slowly building a little bit of light reflection. And our Shadow Stylist crayons are also waterproof and smudge proof. So Now we've got a triple threat, right? And she's set for success because mama knows that weddings are cry fests, and that's okay. People should be able to feel confident that they can cry and still look pretty afterwards. So I think that it's really important. And now I'm going back to our Essential Brow Trio, which I discussed earlier is a really great way to utilize different products for different things. You don't have to keep a million things out. And I'm taking the darkest color and I'm going in her corner. Just a little bit. And a nice soft blend with my brush that honestly still has a little bit of that citrine. I'm doing a bit of a V shape, if you can't tell, here and here, and I'm using a dome smudge brush. The dome smudge brushes are one of my absolute favorites for detail work. I like angled liner brushes and stuff like that, but typically I like a more of a blended look. So that's why I go with the dome smudge. And it's dense, so I can pack color and I can blend color. Get a little more of that citrine on there. Take a step back and look. Come back. Intensify a little bit more. I'm gonna do the same for the other eye. It's looking really good. Now I'm going to take Black Walnut, which is my favorite pencil from Bodyography. Our pencils and our lip liners are really cool. They are infused with coconut oil. So if you're allergic to coconut oil, keep that in mind. Typically, if you're in a cold room, you might need to do one of these puppies to warm it up a little bit if you feel like you're having a hard time getting it to draw. Now, these are pretty smudge resistant, but I do like to say pack on a little bit of powder. It just helps layer things for you, and layering is key, like we discussed earlier, right? Open and look up. Now, I'm just hitting the underneath of her eye just a little bit, and I don't go past her pupil. And then I'm going to take my Essential Brow Trio. See, this is how we just cycle through as few products as possible while making the most impact. So now I have my Essential Brow Trio, and I'm going to take my medium brown color and just go right over that eyeliner and kind of tail it up a little bit so it can meet our liquid eyeliner. Okay. And then I go back in with our Shadow Stylist crayon. Open and look up. We're going to sharpen this puppy real quick. Boop. I'm going to meet that eyeliner on the other side. Taking the dome smudge and just blending into the eyeliner. So now I have a glitter pigment, which some people don't really like glitter pigments in weddings, but I think it's really all on how you apply it. Our glitter pigments are really special because they're crushed pearls and mica. So it's all glitters that's good for the earth. It's not going to hurt your eyes or scratch anything in your eyeball. It's very safe to use. And there's an eyeshadow primer built in. So if you wanted to just use glitter pigments, you could without having to worry about using an eye primer if you didn't want to. Gonna use my trusty dusty little spatula to get it out. And working off of the spatula is something that you can definitely do as well. It's a nice small space, so you can keep it nice and concentrated. Okay, so I have my eyeshadow brush. This is our classic eyeshadow brush right here. Classic eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to go in just the center of her eye with the glitter pigment. It is merely, it's almost a halo eye look without the super emphasis on it, right? So go ahead and close. Just in the center. So it can really catch that light. And this color is Eclipse. It's part of our Cosmic Luxe collection, which is a limited time collection. Just to let you guys know. So if you love it, get it before it's gone. All right. Now I'm going to do just a little bit of on-point liquid liner. Now, a lot of times people ask, well, how do you sanitize that? Oftentimes I'll have the brides purchase it beforehand so they have their very own. Make a makeup kit and a deal for them, or make like a collection for them. So for me, my brides leave with an eyeliner, a mascara, and a lipstick. You take this home with them first, so they can get used to wearing the lipstick. Second, so that they have their own sanitary eyeliner and mascara. Now, everybody else, I can go ahead and use disposables on, but the bride is someone special. And the bride, I want to make sure that she's set for success. And in all honesty, part of the spoolie of the makeup, or part of the spoolie of the mascara, is part of the magic. So we're gonna go in with our eyeliner. This is the On Point liquid liner. This is the only liquid liner that we have. And it is jet black. It does have a little bit of light reflection, so it's not completely matte. If you want it matte, put a little bit of our setting powder on. Go ahead and close. In my humble opinion, when it comes to brides, a little bit goes a long way. When it comes to mascara, or when it comes to eyeliner, go ham on the mascara. When it comes to eyeliner, so I just like to do a nice thin line. However, if your bride is an Amy Winehouse fan and she wants that Amy Winehouse wing, we deliver. Now we're gonna move forward through the face. So we have our foundation set, right? Just gonna kind of hit her face, make sure there's no fallout, which there's not typically, but I like to do a quick brush over. My fingers have been on her face, so I wanna make sure there aren't any smudge marks. It's just prudent. Throws brush on the ground. Next, I'm gonna build her cheek look. So we have a new product here today. It's one of, honestly, my favorites. It is incredible. It just launched. This is the brand new Bodyography Face and Bronzing Gloss, Face and Body Bronzing Gloss. It's got a nice little pump up here. You can lock it so that it doesn't move when you're in flight or when you're in travel. And it's just really easy to get out. No more squeezy tubes and mess of a top, which is awesome. The viscosity is incredible. It's very, very, very lightweight, and it will never move the product around at all. So this is a new product we're gonna play with. I have so many of these because I like to just keep going. And this one has my concealer and stuff on it, which who knows, I might need that still. So I got a second one going on, and I'm gonna add a little bit of my Face and Bronzing Body Gloss. Now, you can see there, that's a pretty good size drop. That's like, I mean, if it moves around, it's about the size of a nickel. Now, I will not need all of that, but that's okay. I'd rather honestly have too much on my palette than too little, because taking time to get more product takes time, and time is money, right? And it smells good too. So we're just gonna I'm gonna hit her forehead. I'm gonna hit the hollows of her cheeks. And I'm using my buffing brush again. When I say this is my favorite brush, I'm not playing. I'm gonna hit the corners of her chin, run it down the neck, hit the hollows. And start to pat that in. Now I'm doing like poke, 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 poke. That's how I am applying. I'm not blending like this. I'm just kind of packing the product into her face a little bit, allowing it to do what it wants to, fighting her baby hairs in the meantime. Fighting my baby hairs in the meantime. When I say get the hollows of the chin, remember when we're using a dark color, okay, light colors do what? Bring forward. Dark colors do what? Bring backwards. So we want to create that nice tight jawline. So we want it to bring backwards, which is why I'm putting some in just the corners and in the hollows. It's just gonna emphasize that a little bit more. And once you put bronzer on your guests, they start to look a little bit more alive. I mean, they really do. So now's the point where if they start peaking, I don't typically take it personal, or I'm not like, no, 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 don't peak. People that peak before this time, I'm like, no, no, you're not done yet, don't peak. There's a process, and you probably look a little bit washed out because there's no color on her face, right? So now that we have that, I am going to take actually our fabric texture lipstick. So this is also a really great way to diversify what you're using products for, right? So you have 10 to 12 girls that you're doing for a bridal party. Yes, I know this is a big bridal party, but for some reason, St. Louis, these bridal parties are 8 or more. I never have a 4-person bridal party. So I like to try and make sure I use as many products, as many different ways as I can, so that I don't have to keep digging and looking for things, right? I cannot stress that enough. So I have our fabric texture lipstick in silk, which can be a really, really great lip for maybe one of the bridesmaids or something like that. For her look is gonna have more of an impactful lip because she's got such a soft eye look going on. So we're gonna make her lip color more impactful, but that doesn't mean that this color wouldn't be great for a bridesmaid. Silk is a really beautiful pinky tone. It's absolutely awesome, super, super pretty, and it gives a really good glow. Now these are matte finish, and these have 3 times the pigment than any other lip product on the market. Now that's not just for clout, that's like a fact, that is real. These paired with our liquid lipsticks both have 3 times the pigment. The only difference is that our liquid lipsticks are liquid and these are a powder coated pigment. So it literally feels like a powder on the face. So it makes for a great blush. Also, it's so incredibly hydrating on the lips that it feels like a lip balm. So it's very comfortable for your brides to wear, and it kind of stains the lip a little bit, so it sets in. Now, if you're more of a liquid lipstick person, by all means, use the liquid lipsticks on the lips, use the liquid lipsticks on the cheeks, and honestly, our liquid lipsticks make incredible eyeliners as well. So cannot stress enough, explore. All right, so with lip products, I like to take my spatula. Can you hold this for me, please? I'd like to show them. So I'm gonna take my spatula. I'm gonna keep this underneath in case I drop anything because I just got a new carpet. Don't want it on the carpet. But take my spatula, take my lipstick. See how it's at an angle there? I like to keep my lipsticks nice and clean. I like to make them look clean. So I'm just gonna cut the top off of my lipstick with my spatula, just like that. Now this amount of product will be plenty for the lips and the cheeks. That's all you need. So if you've ever found yourself just sitting there at your lipstick with your lip brush, paint, 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 paint. Nope, still don't got enough lip product. Paint, 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 paint. Okay, now I think I got enough lip product. That takes time. Time is money. Again, cannot stress that enough. So scrape off your lipstick so that you have all of that pigment right there. Then you don't have to keep working to get it. Look at all that. That's plenty. So you can use your blush brush for this. I'm going to use my favorite. It just really helps me control the amount of product that I'm using. So when I use the lipstick, I tap it into the lipstick. I'm going to tap it on the other side of my palette to make sure I get off any sort of excess because I don't want to overshoot, right? I will also tell my brides though, especially during this pandemic time, I'm going to make you a little blushy. You are going to feel like you have a lot of blush on. Blush is the first to go. Blush is always the first to wash away from the face because people touch their cheeks a lot. We got masks now. So just do a little bit extra blush than maybe you would typically. Now I'm going to go in with my buffing brush, hit her cheeks. And blend that out. Now, Molly is used to wearing a lot of blush, but some people aren't. So it is our job to make sure that we're having these conversations with our guests so that they know what to expect. Otherwise, they're just going to start to feel, they might have a little bit of shell shock. Okay, so now we have our blush. We do have a setting powder. We have a few powders. We have our Every Finish powders, which is our powder foundation. They work incredible. Always mix. If you have really oily skin and you want that to be your foundation base, use setting spray. Don't use water. Use setting spray in order to create kind of a paste type consistency with your powder and your setting spray to get you a nice fuller coverage with the powder. However, because I don't need any more color, I'm going to use our translucent powder. This is called Blur Set Perfect, and it's kind of incredible when it comes to the formulation. It has hyaluronic acid in it. Hyaluronic acid does what? It plumps, right? So the plumping effect is going to help make sure that nothing is going to fall into any fine lines and creases, which is ultimately the goal. Now, I don't need to powder proof her whole face. I like a nice natural glow. And I know that this product doesn't move. So I'm going to use my fluffy blender brush here, fluffy blender brush. Yeah, okay, I said that right. It sounded like a tongue twister to me. The fluffy blender brush, and I'm going to use this to apply my setting powder. And when I set, I only focus on specific areas. I am going to focus on the center of the forehead in between the brows. I am going to focus on the inner corners of the eyes. I'm also going to focus under the eyes. Now this powder is a bit mattifying. So if you are looking for a mattifying look, this is going to help you get there. If you would like a dewy finish, strategically place your powders as I have. In addition to under the eyes, I'm going to hit in the corners of the nose. I like to hit the corners of the nose really good, especially because of mask season. But inner corners of the nose tend to move even if it's not mask season. So just be sure to get those really good. And using the fluffy blender will help make sure that you're blending that product out. Now, as you can see, she has a nose ring, right? We don't want that nose ring to be dusty or weird looking. So, I mean, honestly, you can use a Q-tip, but I'll normally just take my finger and run it on the surface of the piercing, just slightly dusting off any of the excess powder that may have arrived. And then I will do her smile lines a little bit, which she really doesn't have, but just in case they show up, and the chin. Now that's all the powder that I am going to use on her. I don't want her to be matte. If I wanted her to be matte, I would take my big fluffy powder brush and pop powder all over her face. All right, so we have reached our highlighter moment, which I actually like to build our highlighters. So I'm going to use two different. This is our inner glow stick. This is going to be a secret weapon for you with brides and with mothers of the brides. So a lot of times, not all the times, but a lot of times mothers of the brides are rather timid and scared of highlighter or too much glitter. Someone years ago told all of these mature women that they weren't allowed to wear glitter, and boy, does that grind my gears, because mama, sometimes you just need a little shine in your life to make that pop the way that it needs to. So don't get caught in that rut, please. Use satin finishes and glitters on your mature women and show them how to do it properly. So I have a highlight stick. This is a duo-ended highlight stick. It has a pearlescent side and it also has a clear side. So it's really cool because for your mothers of the bride and maybe people that are just a little bit intimidated by pearlescence of color, you have a clear. So you will still be able to bring their cheekbones forward, or you can mix the clear with the pearlescent and have a little bit of both, giving you more control over how much shine you're really allowing. Now, everybody needs to highlight those cheeks. It's just about how we do it. So sometimes that essence side, the clear side, is just all you need. It gives you that dewy finish that look like she just ran a mile and she has the most beautiful skin tone, but she doesn't look sweaty. I don't really know. Those athletic looks, the people who look like they don't wear makeup, but they definitely have a full face of makeup on in the magazines, that's an essence stick. So this is going to be really, really good. However, personally, I'm going to use the pearlescent side. And I'm going to take my trusty spatula and I'm going to scrape a little bit off and put it onto my palette. Now, the inner glow stick is something that I sometimes apply with my fingers just to help melt it into the skin. If you ever are going to use your fingers to apply anything, no matter if you just washed your hands before you started the application, take your sanitation spray and spray your hands right before you do that. Make sure that you have cleaned your hands right before, I mean, literally right before you touch them, because you don't know what else is on your hands. Now me today, personally, I'm gonna use my fan brush, which I love a good fan brush moment. For the longest time, I think everybody was like, wait, what is a fan brush for? I actually have a fan brush, I don't have it with me now, that I have cut off so that it's just kind of the wings of it. And I sometimes use that for mascara if someone is being really difficult with mascara applications. Okay, so I have a good amount of our inner glow stick on my fan brush. I'm just gonna hit the tops of her cheeks, go in under the eyebrows, connect those together, light dusting on the forehead, very light dusting on the forehead because I'm not trying to make her look like she is oily. I just want to bring her forehead forward a little bit. Same on this side. Close. Under the eyebrow. Little dusting on the tip of the nose. Little dusting on the tip of the lips. And then we're going to take our inner glow stick and I am going to dust it on the tops of her ears. So turn a little bit for me. Thank you. Just a little bit. You will not believe the difference this makes in your photos. And let's pretend she has this type of neckline for her dress, which doesn't necessarily always happen. If it doesn't, I'm going to hit her collarbones as well. Also, this goes without saying, but always tell your guests if they're getting a makeup application, whether it's a trial or the day of, to please wear a shirt that they don't have to pull over their face. Wear something that they can either step out of or unbutton or untie so that you have a bit more control and you know that they're not going to move anything. Now today, we're not going to do fake lashes on Molly, but maybe she wanted them and pulling stuff over your face is just going to throw all that off. So now I'm going in with From Within. This is personally one of my favorites. It looks good on every single person. It's basically a neutral tone, so it might look warm in the pan, but you can use this on very cool skin tones or very warm skin tones, very light skin tones, or very dark skin tones, and still get a beautiful translation of light without feeling like you have ashed them out in any way or washed them out in any way. Now I am using a blush brush in order to apply. And I'm just going to focus on the tops of the cheeks, tip of the nose, light dusting on the forehead, and dusting on the lips. I am going to hit the ears again with this because people touch their ears a lot. So that inner glow stick almost acts like a glue for me on the ears to keep her highlighter there. And if you're working with a hairstylist and she hasn't had her hair done yet, the more highlight I put on her ears, that's going to go really quick, guys. The more highlight I put on her ears, the less likely all the hairspray and the hair powders and all of that sort of stuff is going to affect my light translation. And now we're going to go for some lipstick. I told you guys we're going to do a bit of a more prominent lip for her. I'm going with like a sweet and sultry type of approach to this wedding look. I think that it's really modern. I think that it's really approachable for everybody, especially for fall season. And I think that it is something that is a classic beauty. I'm not trying to do, typically if someone shows me a picture of a cut crease when it comes to bridal makeup, I tell them no. Couple of reasons, I don't have enough time. Cut creases take a lot of time. Second, it's not necessarily a classic and timeless look. It looks really beautiful for us now. However, 20 years from now, is it going to carry the same type of emotion? Something like a classic beauty approach like this is always going to be timeless. Again, I'm taking my spatula and I'm actually going to use Velvet in our fabric texture lipsticks. For some reason that escaped me. I have no idea why. But in our fabric texture lipsticks, I am using Velvet. It is a beautiful, rich red color. You truly don't need much in order to make an impact. Because there is so much pigment in these lip colors, I don't typically feel like I have to use lip liner. If you feel like you would like to use a lip liner, we have a beautiful lip liner that matches this. So by all means. See, I'm working off of this spatula in order to build my lip product. Yes, I am using an eyebrow brush to apply lip product. I just like, when it comes to applying lip product, I really like a good angle. And in my humble opinion, our brow brush has the best angle, and it's nice and dense as well. Whereas our angled liner is a little bit more, or angled liner brush rather, is a little bit more wispy. Still angled, still rather dense, but just a bit more wispy. So just because of where we're at right now, I'm gonna have her turn my face. I'll show you after I'm done. I'm gonna follow her lip line first. And also always ask if they would like a glossy finish on their lips or a matte finish on their lips. Open wide. Teeny bit more. Boop, boop, boop. And this keeps you from double dipping into lipsticks too. Just nice and sanitary. I cannot stress enough. Sanitation, sanitation, sanitation. Now I'm not going to overdraw her lips. I'm just working with her natural lip shape. Press your lips together, but don't. Yep. Do that again. When you have them press their lips together, do not let them smush. This just allows you to double check the line of the underlip. I don't necessarily who taught us all to smush our lips together, but I don't agree. Okay, open, beautiful. Now, another trick that I have my guests do, which kind of makes them feel a little awkward, but it helps prevent any sort of lipstick from touching their teeth. You just take your finger and go like this. Do that. Awesome. That makes sure that it gets any lipstick that's on the inner lip from touching their teeth, and it prevents that. They feel funny. You can make it a big joke and be like, ha, 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 this is a funny moment. And it's fun and they remember it. So just to keep in mind, now I will go back again with my highlighter, just the powder this time. And I'm just gonna dust the top of the lips again. Just a nice little kiss there. A little bit on the nose again, perfect. And now we're gonna do some mascara. So this is Molly's mascara, so I don't have to worry about it being compromised. And that's why I really like to make sure that my brides go home with their own mascara. It's really important. I think it's important to stress that to them. So I have our Epic Lash Mascara. This is our best-selling mascara. It has panthenol in it, which is going to protect your lashes and keep your lashes in a really good place so that you can maintain your lash line. It also is a jet black formula, so you don't have to worry about any sort of question on what color it is, because sometimes black can be grayish, sometimes no. It's jet black. It also has an ingredient in it called Wide Lash, which is essentially a hairspray for the lashes, which is really cool. And it's patented by us. We're the only people that have it. This is a fiber-free mascara, no fibers. And don't you be using fiber mascara either. Those are absolutely horrible for your eyes, and those can cause long-term damage. Talk to your guests about that. Share that information with them, because we know this, they might not. And they see all these things now on Instagram and YouTube. We got to keep their reality in check sometimes. So also, something's really special about the mascara wand, which I'll see if you can get in there. I can't really see it very well, but obviously we have short ones on this side and long ones on this side. Something that's a little special about it, however, is the bristles, both the short and the long, kind of go like this. So some point down and some point up. That way, while we're coating the lashes, you get a full 360-degree coat on every single lash. So putting on mascara when it comes to a guest and that isn't you can be a little intimidating. So I'm going to teach you a trick that has really helped me throughout the years, and hopefully it helps you. All right, so I'm actually going to have Molly face me, so she's not going to be facing you for a minute. So face me, awesome. And we're going to do opposite eye, opposite shoulder. And what that means is if I'm working on her left eye, sorry, bad at lefts and rights, and things are flipped around on the computer, so I'm trying to keep this all organized for us, but if I'm working on her left eye, she's gonna, this eye over here, she's gonna look at this shoulder. That's gonna give her something to look at, something to focus on. She's not, her eyes aren't wandering all over the place. Give them something to look at, be like, right here, look right here. And then you're gonna take your mascara, it's all nice and loaded. You're gonna grab the top of the brow and lift up at the brow. Then I'm going to hit the top of the lashes first. The top of the lashes gives her an opportunity to get used to me being in her eye area and on her lash line. Also gives me an idea of how much she's really going to be twitching. So hit the top of the lash line first and then go underneath. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know who Kevin Aquan is. You might. He's rather iconic in the makeup world, but Kevin Aquan has always said, when you're at the lash line, put your mascara wand at the base and give it a little wiggle, then lift up. Put the lash line or the mascara wand at the base, give it a little wiggle, and then lift up. That builds intensity on the lash line and keeps it nice and full and naturally wispy. Also, if you do put falsies on, it'll help work really well with the falsies and kind of let them blend in together. All right, open and look up. Always put mascara on the bottom lashes, always, always, always. Even if it's just a light dusting, we want to make sure that we have one big, nice, beautiful, cohesive look. All right, look at this shoulder. Now you'll probably be able to see it a little bit better because I'm on this side now. I'm going to try to keep my arm out of your way, so pardon my arm. We're hitting the top of the lashes first, and I am grabbing at the brow. I don't have my finger on underneath the brow. I don't have my finger on over the brow. I have my finger literally on her eyebrow, and I'm hitting the top of her lashes. You're going to need to change your hand shape, like how you're holding the wand, when you move to the opposite side of your not dominant hand. So when I do this side of her face, because this is my dominant hand, instead of going in like this to the eyes, I actually have to switch and kind of poke at it like this. So keep in mind your body positioning, because that's really important. Body positioning is going to be what keeps us in the game longer. Do what you can to protect your body. Now we're going to hit the underneath of those lashes. Like Kevin Aquan said, give it a little wiggle and lift up. Give it a little wiggle and lift up. And the cool thing is if you have set your brides for success and sent them home with their own mascara, if they feel like they need more mascara, they can go ahead and apply it themselves after our initial application. Open and look up. All right, so we're good to go there. We got some nice mascara. Molly, you can go ahead and turn back. And now the final step, in my opinion, the final step is going to be our setting spray. Every single person needs to be set with setting spray. Setting spray does a couple things. So the ingredients are rather simple. It's water, aloe, and citric acid. But what it does is there's a lot of stuff hovering on her face right now. Like it's on her face, but it's just hovering on top of it. Applying a spray on top, a setting spray on top, allows the hovering powders and any hovering creams to really pack in there. The citric acid is going to help it dry quicker. The aloe is going to make it really nice and refreshing. And the water obviously is helping us with the viscosity. Now, I like to make the setting spray part of a moment. So sometimes I will make sure to call the photographer over, be like, we're doing setting spray. It's going to look kind of magical if you want to come take a picture, right? So I'm going to set her with this setting spray and I go ham with it. So just be ready, right? So I like to stand a good arm's length away from them when I spray, because I'm not trying to like make them wet, but I definitely want to mist them. So I'm standing an arm's length away, mist up real good, give them a nice little fan, and then she'll be good to go. So before we kind of just like really hit on this beautiful finished look, because I'll have her get a little closer to the camera for you, I want to talk about communicating with the photographer. When we're part of a wedding team and we're the makeup artists in a wedding team, it is important that we think of that very moment and every single person involved in that moment as part of our team. That means the wedding planner, the photographer, the hairstylist, and honestly, mother of the bride and maid of honor. These people are key ingredients to the wedding. Now, ultimately, the bride is the most important, but working with everybody else is also part of being a professional team. So when your photographer is coming over to take pictures of you doing the bride's makeup, be conscious of how you're standing. I understand that we like to get comfortable in our body positionings when it comes to application, but remember, these pictures last forever. And it's really hard for them to take good pictures when you're like this, because how are they going to get the pictures of the face? And those are some really magical getting ready post pictures. So be sure to keep your body kind of similarly to how I've been doing with the camera. Pretend like you're always on stage. What's the number one rule of being on stage? Never put your back to the audience, right? So I'm working on the sides of the face. I'm walking behind. I'm working on the sides of the face and walking behind. If I'm doing mascara, that's the only time I'm really in front of her, and there's kind of no way to avoid that. So keep in mind the flow of everything and be sure that you're working with the rest of the team. Sometimes a photographer will come over almost immediately after I have finished my blush application, and maybe they wanted to take a picture of me wisping them with a blush brush, right? So then I'm gonna be there standing like this, not even touching her face, but making it look like I'm wisping blush onto her face, because I want to make sure that they get the pictures that they want. I'm trying to work as part of a really magical team. We're the magical fairies behind the scenes that are often forgotten, but never underappreciated. We are very highly valued in this part of the day. So with that being said, Molly, I'm going to have you kind of get up and close and personal with the camera. Let them see what we've done today. I think she's really beautiful, a really classic beauty, nice and simple, can go with any type of hairstyle, any type of dress. We can make the lip more bold. We can make the lip more soft. There's a lot of different things we can do with this look. However, it is a nice, classic, soft glam look filled with glowing skin, popping eyes, and beautiful lips. So guys, with that being said, I believe that concludes our bridal class today. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to unmute and ask. I would love to answer anything that you have. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and assume with just a few seconds of pending that we don't have any questions. And I think that you guys are all very talented and capable makeup artists. So I'm sure that you guys have been well versed in this before. But I do want to let you know I greatly appreciate your time today. And I'm really, really thankful that you had me share some of our bridal looks with you and give you an opportunity to maybe simplify your approach to bridal makeup and help open your mind to the diversity of our products and how you can truly use them for many, many different things. So thank you so incredibly much. In closing, I would like to give you a couple contact points for me and Lori. Our creative director is Lori Lieb, and I will be honest, she is one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. She's inspiring. She's a wonderful listener. She's a great mom. I could go on and on and on, but with wonderful listeners, she is really there to help us as professionals and as makeup enthusiasts. So please, if you need to reach out to her, by all means do. Her email is Lori, Lori, at Robanda, ROBANDA.com. So that's a very, very simple one to remember. Also, I'd like to give you a couple Instagram handles. First and foremost, I'd like to give you our Bodyography Instagram. If you are not already following, please do. We have muses that we use every month as inspiration. We have new product drops that are always on Instagram first. It's just a really good access point for product knowledge as well. So our Instagram is at Bodyography, which is on my shirt, but BODYOGRAPHY. So that's Bodyography. And in all honesty, we have quite a few. Bodyography on Instagram, just Bodyography, is our main Instagram. However, Bodyography Australia, Bodyography India, Bodyography Costa Rica, and Bodyography Canada are all very different Instagrams containing very different information. And I always suggest you following those as well. In addition, I'd like to give my personal Instagram handle. So if you guys have any questions and are for some reason either intimidated or unable to reach Lori, I am always maximum, I'm always a maximum of 24 hours as far as response, max period, no matter if I'm in a different country or whatever. So you can always reach out to me personally. Instagram is the best for me over email. So my Instagram is at cosmic_stylist. So that is COSMIC_, which I don't actually know in sign language, unfortunately, but I'm going to learn, stylist, STYLIST. So by all means, reach out to me with any questions, concerns, or send me some things that you guys have been doing with Bodyography. I am always inspired by other people, and I really like to create a community environment. So would love to connect with you guys and help you in any way that I can and be inspired by you. So those are some contact points that might be a little helpful. Again, I really, truly appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for being a part of this bridal class. And I hope you all have a really wonderful day. Thank you again. Until next time.